my mount for my windshield broke, and this thing is wobbly. Nope. Oh, YouTube's hard, guys. It's hard to do this because this thing is loose. All right, this isn't gonna work. We'll put you on this. See if that helps. You see all that? It's an absolute mess right now. But hey, let's make a video to show off my mess. Is this somebody we know? He just smiled and waved at me. I don't know who that is. So if you're on here and that was you, hi, I don't know who you are. It's funny, the other day I actually had somebody come up to me and was like, that is you. And I'm like, what? Took me a second. So yeah, I'm sorry I didn't really. He's coming up right behind me. There's nobody over here. Oh my gosh, guys. Oh, he's got a CRV like me though. These are good cars, guys. I recommend them. Stop playing around. See if I can figure out where to put you guys. Oh, this is hard. So my mount for my windshield, I've had this mount for like 3.5 years, okay? I had it when I was in a truck. The thing is awesome. It's so good. It was like 40 bucks off of Amazon. It's solid, didn't come off. 3.5 years I had it. And it finally died on me. There's 2 prongs on the bottom and then 1 prong on the top, and the prong on the top extends in and out to adjust to the size of your phone. And it finally came apart, so I have a new, I actually ordered the same one again. I have a new one coming, so it'll be here tomorrow. But I really want to get this video done today so I can get it edited, and I've got to have some videos to get me through June, because I'm going to be on a personal trip in June. So I want to make sure you guys still get content, because I'm not going to really be able to do videos, because nobody in my family, none of my friends, nobody knows I do this, by the way. Nobody knows. Oh my gosh, it works. I love this tripod so much. Oh my gosh, guys. This tripod, if you're gonna start doing videos, it's a little mini lightweight tabletop tripod. It's called the Ultrapod. Freaking awesome. It's got Velcro on it, so you can strap. I literally strapped around my steering wheel. Yay! Back of my car is a wreck, so I'm probably gonna fix that really quick, and we will go ahead and get started. This is like an 8-minute long intro. I'm sorry. I just got back to the car last night. No, excuse me, this morning, and I just threw everything back there, so I need to kind of organize real quick. So I'm going to do that really quick, and then we will get started in our Q&A for this week. I haven't done a Q&A in a while. I've had a lot of questions from you guys, so I'm going to go over those, and let's go ahead and get started. The absolute mess back here. That looks better. Today we've got some questions. These are questions, we haven't done a Q&A in a while. I figured I would do one for you guys. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, we're gonna start with a big, potentially big answer here right off the bat. It's, what's the average startup costs for Driveaway? And this is like a really, there's no answer to this, to be honest, okay? It's going to depend on what you already have. It's going to depend on how you want to start. Do you want a tow car? Do you not want a tow car? Do you want to use your car and it's flat towable? Are you going to have to go out and buy one? You're going to have to get all the tow equipment. which can be very expensive, by the way. Okay, if you are just wanting to get your feet wet, you're wanting to get started, you don't want to do a tow car right now, I would say less than $1,000, okay, to get started. Because you need to get triangles. If you plan on driving in areas that have chain requirements during the winter, you need to get chains, okay? So through the summer, you can go anywhere without chains, okay? If you plan on doing a lot of Northwest, a lot of through Denver on 70 during the winter, you're gonna need chains, okay? And by the way, the equipment that I've bought for Driveaway, I will leave them in the links in the description box below. The triangles are very lightweight. They are regulatory size because they have to be a certain size in order to be DOT compliant. And the chains that I have, you're never going to put them on, but if you go through a weigh station, they're like, hey, where's your chains? You need to be able to show the DOT officer that, hey, I do have them here, okay? They don't have to fit, okay? The chains I have fit the CRV. In case I do take it, I'm trying to get back, I have chains to put on this vehicle, okay? So I will put those down below in the description box for you guys. That way you can just, if you want to, you can just go to Amazon, click on them, order them, and you don't have to think about it, okay? You don't need a fire extinguisher unless you have a tow car. The RVs themselves have fire extinguishers. So if you don't have a tow vehicle, you don't have to get one, okay? Those are like 20 bucks at Lowe's or Home Depot. Walmart sells them. They're not that expensive. You don't need a big, massive one. You can get like the little baby ones for 20 bucks if you have a tow car. If you don't need it, okay? If you have like a small, simple tool set that you can take with you, if you don't have a tow car, again, I got mine off Amazon. I'll put it down below. It's very small, but it is a little heavy. If you drive for a company that requires electronic logs, they don't do paper logs, you're more than likely going to need a printer. The printer I use is incredible. It's very lightweight, it's very compact. It is the Canon Pixma TR150. Again, it'll be down below. It is a little pricey. It's about 300 bucks, but it does, you can print straight from your cell phone. There's no connection issues. I've never had a problem with this printer. This printer is awesome, okay? So like, for example, if you run for Horizon, they do require you to have a printer, because not only do you need to be able to print out logs if a DOT officer asks, but you also need to, if you're doing a backhaul, you've got to print out your paperwork, okay? So make sure you have one. A Synergy you don't, because you run paper logs, so you don't need a printer with them. Make sure you bring painter's tape, duct tape, make sure you have some trash bags, and make sure that like a multi-tool, something you have in your pocket. I have one with me all the time. I actually have it right here. It's just a SOG, come on, focus. It's a SOG Power Duo. This is the old one. I've had it for forever, but it's an 8-in-1. It's got a Phillips. It's got a flathead can opener, beer can opener, or bottle opener, excuse me. It's got a small blade. It's got wire cutters, needle nose, you know, all kinds of stuff on it. And it's got tweezers. Also had a toothpick thing, but I lost that a long time ago, so I never used it anyway. But this thing's awesome. I don't know if they make them anymore. I've had it for, gosh, like 6 years, 5 or 6 years. So I always have one of these too. Just make sure you put it in your checked bag before you go to the airport. It's very important because they will take that from you. I mean, a lot of that stuff you might already have, right? Some of that stuff you might not have any of it, okay? It just depends on your situation. So you could actually start up and Driveaway for less than $1,000, okay? You could go all the way up to $10,000 if you're going to do the tow car and if you're going to do the tow equipment. All right, I'm going to tell y'all right now, and you'll see in next week's video, tow equipment is very expensive, okay? Let me rephrase. It has the potential to be very expensive, okay? So if you just want to try before you buy kind of thing, I wouldn't go with a tow car. All right, so anywhere from less than 1,000 up to 10,000 would be the range that I would give it for startup costs. All right, next question. That took that's probably a whole video in itself, but let's move on. How do 34-hour resets work? Oh gosh, one thing I absolutely hate is talking about hours of service. So basically, you have an 8-hour, an 11-hour, a 14-hour, a 70-hour, and then you've got just your regular 24-hour clock for, you know, time changes and all that crap, okay? So you've got 5 clocks you potentially have to look after at all times, right? Your 70-hour will continue to dwindle, okay, as you use on duty and as you use your driving time, okay? So that's what takes away your 70-hour clock. All right, now we could get really complicated, and there's a way to kind of reuse hours from 8 days prior. I'm not going to get into that, okay? That is an option, so you don't have to take a 34-hour. That's a whole complicated situation. I gotta show you guys visually for that. So the 34-hour reset basically means when you take 34 consecutive hours off, it has to be off duty, okay? Because we don't have sleepers. It has to be off duty. 34 consecutive hours resets all of your clocks, okay? Specifically your 70-hour. Your 8-hour gets reset once you take a 30-minute break. Every time you take one, you reset your 8-hour. Your 11-hour and your 14 get reset after a 10-hour break. Okay, that's your going to bed type thing. Once you have 34 hours consecutively, it resets your 70-hour. Okay, that's what a 34 is. Spit it out, Jen. Spit it out. Woo! It's gonna be a long video. All right. Does mileage for taxes come off your logbook? It can. There's 2 ways that you could do this. I prefer logbooks. I recommend logbooks. But if you are dragging your tow car everywhere you go, despite the trip, and your car is recording those mileage, that mileage, you could do it that way too. So either way is good. I've had like 5 people in the past 3 or 4 days ask me this question, and it's what have you heard about Starfleet Transport? I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know a lot about them. I haven't heard anything negative. I do see a lot of trucks, tow-away drivers that are with Starfleet. I don't really know much about them, guys. I'm sorry. I've never worked for them or anything like that, so I'm not sure about Starfleet. I would go into like a RV transporter group and ask and see what people say about Starfleet. But I mean, like I said, I've seen a lot of people drive for them, but I don't know very much about them personally, so. Okay, why do you fly in to, wait, I wrote it down wrong, sorry. Why do you fly into Midway instead of like Goshen or South Bend? Up until recently I was, and the reason why is because typically it was cheaper to fly into Midway and then get a rental. It was cheaper to go that route than to fly directly into Goshen or fly directly into South Bend. However, with the rates, pretty much everything going up, and rental cars, guys, there's no such thing as a rental car right now, okay? I actually need to make a video about this to kind of update y'all, but there are no rentals, okay? Don't just act like they don't even exist, all right? Because they don't. And when you do find it, it's like $4 million, okay? So do not depend on rentals, because you're not going to get one usually, okay? But nowadays I have been going on a website called skyscanner.com, and I will put in where I am to where I'm going, and it's kind of like Priceline or something like that, but there's typically way better deals on Skyscanner compared to other websites. So I do recommend that. And I have found that Goshen has been pretty decently priced. Being a solo female, I don't really feel comfortable flying into Midway and then taking the train systems down. Call me big chicken, I don't really care. Because usually when I fly in, it's usually kind of late at night. And with 2 bags, I'm just gonna look like a tourist. And that's not a good idea. So yes, I have been looking on skyscanner.com, and they've typically had some pretty good deals going into Goshen recently. So that's what I've been doing. Do you have to use a logbook? Yes. We are under hours of service rules. We have to follow, it's just like a truck driver, we have to follow the same rules essentially. And they also asked, do you have to log the trip back? No. Okay, there's a little condition there. You have to make sure there's ample time between when you drop to when you go back. A minimum, absolute minimum between each load, like 10 hours minimum, before you pick up the next one. That way you don't have to log it, okay? That's what I was told. I haven't had any issues with Horizon or Synergy looking at my books, because they'll check your logs, okay? Make sure you're doing it right. They've never come back and said, no, this isn't right, you know. So just make sure you give yourself a minimum of 10 hours, probably a little bit longer, just to be on the safe side, between when you drop that unit to when you pick up the next one, okay? Can a spouse ride along and drive away? This is actually a really good question. I get this quite a bit. The only time, at least the company I've looked at or I've spoken to, they can only come along if they are registered as a driver as well. That is the only time in drive away that they're allowed to do that. Tow away is different. You can have a passenger. You might have to let them know, pay a fee or something. I can't remember, but drive away, they have to be a driver with that company in order for them to be able to ride along with you. Do you use Easy Pass? No, not really. So first of all, I don't really go to the Northeast very much. I hate the Northeast. It's just, I hate it. I hate everything about the Northeast. I'm sorry if you live in the Northeast. I hate driving in the Northeast. If I can pay cash, I pay cash with tolls. Here's the problem with Easy Pass is, depending on the state, okay, it could take days, weeks, months before you get the receipts to turn in with your paperwork. Okay, cash is just instant. Because like with Horizon and Synergy, you have to turn everything in at once. Okay, you can't turn in the paperwork and then you have, you know, 30 days to turn everything else in. No, that's not how it works. Everything has to be at once, and then you get paid and reimbursed, okay? So I personally don't prefer Easy Pass. Some people, you know, they've used it, they don't have any issues. Just know that there could be a delay before you could get paid because you're waiting for it to show up on your account, okay? Do you need a brake controller? No, no, no. Please, guys, please do not go out and buy a brake controller. Please, please, please. Those things are stupidly priced. They are very expensive. You do not need one. We are exempt. I believe the exemption code and the FMCSA site is 393.48 or 4348, I think. I'll put it somewhere. You don't need a brake controller, guys. Please don't buy one. They're very expensive. If a company requires you to have one, don't work for that company, okay? Because not unless they're going to give you one. But don't do it. just walk away from that because they are stupidly priced. How are fuel prices affecting you? Well, negatively, because they're going up. Everything's going up. You know, so you've got to really plan out your fuel stops. Try and find the good prices along your routes. And sometimes you might have to go a few miles off of the interstate in order to get lower prices. Okay, so make sure you kind of check around the interstate. Let's say you're going on 80. Make sure you just check a little bit farther north or a little bit farther south. You know, because they could be significantly cheaper than if you just go right off the interstate and fuel, okay? The major truck stops, they're always overpriced, okay? They're overpriced on everything, inside and out, okay? So you're always going to pay a premium there. So if you can, try and find the little smaller gas stations. You'll typically get better prices. Another part of that is that's what I use my EFS and my comm data cards for. Especially Synergy has amazing fuel discounts, so make sure that you check. It's really, really good. So make sure you use those as like your fuel cards, or find like a Speedway card or something that's going to give you really good discounts. Okay. What's in your bag without a tow when not using a tow car? I'm going to be making a video on this because that's kind of a long answer, but I will be making a video about that probably down the road a little bit. I have everything in my bag. It's actually pretty small when you look at it, but it fits a lot of stuff in it. So I will be making a separate video about that. But it has everything I need, you know. You don't need as much as you probably think. And you'll learn that really quick when you get into this industry. So anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you enjoy. I hope it's answered some questions for y'all. If you guys have any additional questions, leave them down below. I'm gonna try and be more consistent with these Q&As. It's been a while since the last one, so I thought I would go through my comments and answer some more. Anyways, guys, I hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying safe and healthy, and hope you enjoy the video. Hope you're enjoying the tow series that we're doing. The tow equipment video will be next week. Still editing that, still trying to get everything together on the description, because there's going to be a lot of information down there. So yeah, it's going to take a little bit longer. Anyways, take care, guys, and I will see you in the next video.